UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and thank you for joining us here at Underground Video Network's We Talk Too Much. I am Michael Boroff.
I'm Richard Catterjohn.
Rich, good to see you. It feels like it's been an entire year.
Literally almost.
Literally almost, yeah. This is our first episode of 2024. With the holidays and work and everything, this is the first chance me and Richard have gotten to hang out in. It's been a minute.
Yeah, my work schedule shifted during basketball season here. There's basketball games on Saturday night, and tonight just happened to be one where everybody was on the road. So,
dude, you have already committed the cardinal geek sin. You chose sports over nerddom. We're done.
No, it's me taking photos for the paper.
Yeah, no, that is completely honest. There's been a few times where I was getting ready to get a hold of you to see about doing a show, and it's like, you're already like nowhere near home, you know.
Oh, there we go. I didn't have the names up. I go, where's our names at? Yeah, no, I was out last night. I got a really good one. Had the guy, he had almost a vertical leap of almost 3 feet up going in for the basket, and I got the shot. It was just great.
Nice.
Yeah, it looked like one of those NBA, where they were bringing the ball up and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening.
Yeah. Here, just as, we've been dealing, it's Ohio and we talk about it all the time, just been dealing with the on and off weather. Work's been good. Been doing a lot of costuming the last few months, especially with my local cosplay group, the Heroes for Hope. Yeah, I'm going to give us a little plug. We got to do something with the Civic Center over Christmas for the family health and fitness, which is one of our favorite shows. We got to dress up and play with the kids and got to pose with Santa, which getting Santa to hold a lightsaber, because Jared does Obi-Wan Kenobi, is always a lot of fun. And I've been doing it for a while, but the last few months I have been doing a lot more work with my Ghostbusters costume.
Oh yeah, I saw those pictures you released yesterday.
Yeah. You can kind of see it in the background. I updated my proton pack to look slime covered. I put a slime tank on it, updated the suit. And if you've seen my Facebook page in the last few days, it dawned on me, because it's wintertime. I growing out the beard, because, I'm a bald man. I gotta take the warmth where I can get it, I'm looking, I was like, I was watching Ghostbusters Afterlife for like the 1 billionth time, because that's like my comfort movie. And I was like, I kind of want to do Egon from Afterlife. And if you've ever seen any pictures from cons, especially a lot of the bigger ones, some of the greatest costumes are, have you seen the Force Jedis? The Jedi. Loved it since the moment I saw. I was like, oh man. Well, a friend of mine let me in on what the name of the material was. You can kind of see it back here for people who are watching, right below the Ghostbusters. It's a material called Tulle, Tulle, and which was completely, oh my God. The minute my brain made this connection, because I went out and I have no idea about this material. It could be $2 a yard, could be $5 a yard. I had no idea, but went to my local fabric store, found it dirt cheap. And like I said, the name of the material is Tulle, Tulle. And in one of my proudest dad joke moments, our friend Angie, I got a hold of her because she's going to help me out with the costume. It hit me right then and there. There is no Dana, only Tool. And I'm in the middle of my car. I'm in the car in the parking lot, and I'm looking for the applause. I'm like, this is the greatest dad joke, nerd dad joke I will ever make, and there's nobody here to appreciate it. So I got that. I found and actually right out of the bag the perfect wig, and I got a chance to, Richard. This is one of the first times where I put everything on. It's real rough, and I stepped in front of the mirror, and I was like, oh, I was not emotionally ready to see Egon Spengler looking at me. So I am really excited about that, being able to show that off in the upcoming con year. I'm also hoping too, I have been slowly ectofying my car. I want to do it temporarily. You know, I love Ghostbusters, but I'm not ready to make that permanent commitment to my car. So, you know, I got magnetic signs. I got this great scrolling LED light that will go on my windshield that you can program, Richard. Oh, you're gonna love it. You can program it to say whatever you want, right? And, you know, I tested it. I go, who are you going to call? You know, Ghostbusters. Looks great. Heroes for Hope. Going to be able to use it for a bunch of stuff. But it also has this function, Richard, where you can press the button and it will mirror what you've typed in. So if a car is in front of you and they look in the rearview mirror, they can read it. Now, get this, Richard. My first thought was, because if for those that don't know me in IRL, young kids speak, I have an old cop car. And in the dark, it's black, and it's got the teardrop light. People in front of me will slow down, thinking that I'm an undercover or whatever. So I had to thought, I'm going to type out, not a cop, please go speed limit. And mirror it so the cars in front of me can read it. Now, here's the problem, Richard. This happened just today, because I just got the sign yesterday. I had it in my window so I could take a video to send them for friends, and I left it in there. It didn't dawn on me until I was on my way to the comic book store today. I'm like, why are these people going so slow? God, they think I'm a cop. I made it worse because now I have this black bar in my window that looks like a hideaway light, and I went, oh, this is worse. So, but I'm looking forward to hopefully getting that done by con season. I would really like to get it done before the movie, which that's something we haven't, that just, you know,
right.
You know, not too long ago, we were getting, you know, previews for the movie. I don't think we've talked about that yet, Richard.
No, because I think that came out just like right after our last episode.
Yes. Okay. So let's jump right into Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Holy balls! That just.
Well, the date release date's been changed right now. It's the weekend of like Easter now, right?
It got moved, not back. It got moved forward.
Forward, yeah. It's April now. It's the last weekend of April. Yeah.
Which is unheard. When was the last time you heard a movie get pushed forward, Richard?
Well, there was another movie in that slot, and it got changed. So I think they took advantage of that movie switching. I don't remember which one it was. There was something else that had that as a tent pole, but it got pushed forward. So they wanted that weekend because there'd be schools off. Well, not schools probably, but there'd be maybe some vacations or something, you know.
Yeah. A little bit more accessibility for people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was almost like when they announced that news, Richard, you could hear the collective Ghostbuster community squeal and then sigh because it's like, yay, the movie's coming out sooner. And then all the cosplayers are like, crap, the movie's coming out sooner. But the preview looked awesome. Getting to see everybody back. And I mean, everybody, because more pictures are being dropped from especially Empire magazine, which evidently right now is the hot thing to find because throughout the United States and even abroad over in the UK, people are going nuts trying to find this magazine because there's one magazine with two covers. You know, they go together, but you've got the older team and the newer team, you know, side by side.
Well, I just looked it up. The official release date now is March the 22nd. Is that correct?
I think so because I think it was farther back than March.
Okay, so this is when it is
I
now.
think
March
yeah,
the 22nd. Yeah.
I think originally it was April and they pushed it back to March.
Yeah.
Or
So
pushed it
that's
to-
Palm Sunday weekend is what it is
Yeah.
for people who celebrates holidays. That's that weekend. So maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe people will be on like a spring break the following week or something.
Mhm.
So they would have an extra week of box office or something, you know.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I love that Ghostbusters has always had a huge following, but it really, in my observation, especially after Afterlife came out, it was just exploded again. You know what I mean? It was like the new generations are finding this movie, and even I have not nephews, great nephews, the little ones that are absolutely nuts for this movie, and I am so here for it.
Yeah, I think
So
wasn't that Madam Web that originally was supposed to be out in March.
yes,
Now that's been
and,
pushed up to February the 14th.
and I am very excited for that one because I am really curious. I'm excited to see the movie, and I'm really curious. I really don't know what to expect going into it.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with a lot of the characters that we've seen so far, but I have no idea what's going to be going on.
Yeah, that's taking the properties and changing it a little bit, I think, in the Sony verse or whatever,
Yeah,
Spider Verse. But
yeah.
the Ghostbuster stuff, I was looking at some other stuff. Now, are they going to be maybe even pitching an animated series too? Was I hearing some rumors about that?
I've heard those same rumors too.
Okay, I know we don't usually talk about rumors, but I just didn't know if you heard that too or not.
I've heard the same rumors because, well, no, here's where it stemmed from, Richard, because the animated Ghostbusters, the Extreme Ghostbusters, is going to be available. I want to say even streaming because licensing and everything for the first time ever.
Yeah, I think that's on Prime, right? Because doesn't Prime and Sony have a contract or something? Wasn't I think that's because it's through MGM or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
because
was.
it's not Sony. Doesn't have Ghostbusters. That's through. Well, yeah, it is so, right? Or
It's been a minute because at first it was like Deke and yeah.
yeah, I could be wrong too, but yeah, it's
Oh,
Sony. It's Sony. Ghostbusters is Sony. So I
yeah,
think all that. I think they just was changing things around is what they were doing.
that makes sense because Hasbro and Sony go hand in hand, and Hasbro was the ones that produced the toys and everything, and
Yeah.
which are getting a resurgence because they're re-releasing the old the real Ghostbusters figures, and like even they did the originals first, which I have a few in here somewhere, and now I think they said that the latest ones they're going to be releasing are the fright ones, the ones where you like squeeze the arm, those are coming out again. So it's a really great time to be a Ghostbusters fan because everything is just more available now than it has been since before Afterlife. Because let's face it, that one movie didn't do shit for the franchise. So yeah, Ghostbusters is definitely. I mean, hell, Richard, I was first surprised when I heard any mention of the movie that it was coming out in 2024.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, did I hear right? I believe that the trailer will come out in 2024. No. The movie's coming out in 2024. Okay, the trailer for the movie is coming out in 2024. No, the movie.
yeah, I think they had principal filming done pretty quick, even after the first release, and then getting the special effects and stuff done was outsourced or something, or how they do that.
Yeah,
This one actually was going through a little bit faster, then it kind of got delayed a little bit with the writer's strike stuff, and then I
yeah.
think they were already past that point and just put it back together, you know.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I mean, when I say a lot of stuff, pretty much everything got affected by the writer's strike. To the point where it was like some shows, it's like, man, are we ever going to get another episode? You know, did that show get canceled? And you remember, oh, writer strike, and then
Yeah, a lot of stuff starting to pop out now because of that and stuff. Everything was in production but couldn't be released and stuff like that.
yeah.
But the sad thing now, though, is you get a whole movie and then they decide not to even release it.
Ooh, the latest one that I heard, Richard, and I think this one bothered me more, was there was going to be a Wile E. Coyote
Oh, yeah, yeah.
live action / animated movie that was pretty much done that they axed.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's just like Holly Berry has one for Netflix. They filmed all the principal shooting, but it was going to cost them too much to do the special effects, so it got canned.
yeah. And a lot of it's business, especially like the Batgirl, the what was it, Birds of Prey?
Yeah, well, no, it was Batgirl. It was that.
Batgirl.
Yeah, it was already.
Dude,
it was done basically.
It was done.
Yeah, I wish they would do like back in the day, like with the Meet the Feebles. You know that oddball. Remember, it was got canned and stuff, but they literally broke in and stole a copy of it.
Dude, God bless the internet, because I'm going to sidetrack for a second. When you said Meet the Feebles, sometimes the internet is actually useful. I love finding out behind the scenes stuff about any and all movies. The more obscure the reference, the more I love it. Richard, you know this one. I don't care if like 2 people listening understand what I'm talking about, but the one scene, Richard, in Meet the Feebles where the one Feeble unloads the shotgun, they couldn't afford the blanks, so they used a real shotgun. Only Peter Jackson. What do we do? Just clear everybody out of the room. Fire the gun. I don't give a shit. Some big dude in like a purple.
But no, it's just one of them things happening. I think this has always happened. We just never hear about it. I think that's what's going on more now. Is there's too many people that can't keep their mouths shut, so they talk about it.
Yeah. And
which is probably a good thing. Maybe studios won't be pressured as much to keep stuff live if it's already been leaked out.
Yeah. Because especially, I mean, it's horrible how they treated Batgirl, but hopefully it will set a precedent for the studios. Like, I mean, they got a lot of backlash.
Yeah,
a lot of backlash for that one.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's just one of them things. I wish, because they were just starting to release stuff. So
yeah. I mean, hey, at least we might not have got Batgirl, but at least they were able to finish and put out the Flash.
After it got chopped up like a billion times.
It should have been chopped up completely. I just know that in a parallel universe, Richard, the roles were reversed and we got Batgirl and that one got binged. And goddamn it, I want to do a Sliders and find that universe.
Yeah, because it originally was supposed to be the way to keep the Snyderverse in sync, but yet be its own thing or something. Now it's just a hodgepodge of nothing. Because after watching the new Aquaman,
let's talk about that, Richard. And people know I love Aquaman. I really genuinely do, and I love the comic book character. I love Aquaman, and I love the first movie. I also love the first Wonder Woman movie. Not so much the sequel. And it got to the point, Richard, where even during Christmas break, when I had more than enough free time to go 5 miles down the road to go see it at a very nice theater in Van Wert, I will give you a plug. I couldn't do it, Rich.
Yeah,
you suffered. You suffered so that others wouldn't have to.
Yeah, I watched it on a streaming service, which you can find it now.
you can find it. Let's just say that sea-going pirates aren't the only ones that Aquaman fights.
Oh, there was I'm gonna ruin one little bit. There's actually a Marvel joke in it because they compared him and his brother to Thor and Loki.
No.
That's
No,
how
they-
bad. Just saying that is how bad that movie really is.
Richard, here is my first indication. It was like literally a sign. The weekend the movie came out, I went to a Mart by Walls, wink, to look for Lego because I'm a junkie, and I saw some Aquaman figures on clearance. Richard, and I'm not talking about like the original first run of the movie, Aquaman 1, that went on clearance. No, these were figures from the new movie that were already on clearance. I'm sorry, but that is not a good sign.
No. Yeah, that's why I've almost been watching a bunch of old stuff, because I noticed that Amazon had, like, around Christmas time there had a ton of DVDs on clearance,
Oh yeah.
and I didn't mind just buying a DVD of it. I picked up some movies for $5.
And dude, I'm telling you, I would, for a movie that I really want, I will still buy the physical copy because, especially after some of that news from, what was it, EA Games came out where they basically told their stockholders, like, customers need to get comfortable with the fact that they don't own the games.
Yeah, that's right.
You're like, oh, okay, well then if we don't own the games, then it's not pirating.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah,
Well, it was that other chain. They think they're the best place to buy videos at. They
you
don't
want to buy from the best.
they don't have physical media anymore.
Yeah. And even last time I was in that place to buy best, God, like anybody from corporate's watching the show, Richard, but I just get a kick out of it. God, this should be a game on at midnight, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the last time I was in it was literally like 2 shelves. And I'm talking like 2 shelves as in forward and backwards. And I was like, okay.
Well, back in the day, what was there? 10 rows at one time?
Oh my God. That was, I mean, back in the day. That's going to be the name of our new show, Richard. Back in the day. It really lived up to its name, man. If you wanted to find not only something that you couldn't find anywhere else, but a variant, like the steel book edition, that was the only place to go.
Yeah, that was like they used to have those ones with the little action figures from the DC line.
Yep.
And then my worst mistake in my whole life, I passed on the Nick Fury DVD from the TV movie. There was a DVD version of that came out to, I think, Best Buy was the only way I said it is to that place, and I didn't buy it.
For those who are confused, we're talking about the one with Knight Rider, David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, it was a TV movie. It was called Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I recorded it on VHS off of the actual broadcast, but there was a limited edition release that was only available through there, and they're selling like for a ridiculous price. And that's not considered. Is that considered canon now? Since everything in the Marvel universe,
everything is canon. It's in the multiverse.
But like I was saying, I go to the jungle and buy some DVDs. I just found this is the one I just found was Dark Star. It was called the Hyperdrive Edition, and this has the actual student version of the film.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a student version of the film. I remember seeing that back in the day at the drive-in, but I didn't realize that was a student film. And there's a version of that on there because it's like 40 minutes long.
Right.
And then they had to go back and they re-edited for like release. So
Yeah. No, I did the same thing, especially over Christmas break. I like you. I went down the rabbit hole of, like all the services, especially like Tubi and free, anything and everything old that I hadn't seen in like 100 years. And let's be honest, Richard, man, some of the stuff, especially from our youth, that we have such a fondness for, needs to stay in our memory and not be brought back. Because I'm not one of these overly sensitive people, but man, there were some movies I'm watching them going, oh, awkward. Oh, she was asleep, man. What do you know? It's some hold up, some really do, but man, some wow.
Yeah, I watched Hooper again for the first time. I hadn't seen that. I haven't seen that for like ever. And it was in the drive-in when I first saw it. That doesn't hold up well with the language.
Yeah.
Because it had Brian Keith in it, and he was Sally Field's character's dad, the original stuntman, basically.
Yep.
And Burt Reynolds was, and they all got drunk from a big bar fight, so they all went back to the Burt Reynolds' house and stuff. And some of the stuff they were talking about was just like, this is not right.
Yeah.
And this was not even. I don't even know what this was rated. It was like,
yeah. Dude, I remember I mentioned this to you off camera a couple days ago. Speaking of like flashbacks and stuff that did and doesn't hold up. This one did. When MTV actually, well, first of all, existed and played music. One of the first shows I ever remember watching on MTV that wasn't music, still to this day, one of my favorite game shows ever, called MTV's Remote Control with Ken Ober and Colin Quinn, who is a great comedian in his own right. They had entire episodes, Richard. You can find entire episodes on YouTube. And what's great is there's so far a couple different users that are posting them.
Right.
Richard, some of them have the commercials cut out or edited. Some of them still have the original commercials, Richard. Dude, I can't remember my own birthday some years. And the second that Levi's 501 Buttonfly Blue Jean commercial jingle started, it flooded back.
Oh, wow.
The show was great. If ever there was a show that needs to be rebooted, we need MTV's Remote Control. But here's the thing, Richard. I'm watching it, and you forget how many people that are huge today, they got their start, but appeared on MTV's Remote Control, the greatest one ever, Adam Sandler.
Oh, yeah.
The stud boy. Oh, my God. The stud boy. Dude, to go back and watch him probably in his early 20s doing the stud boy. And there's only one way to say the stud boy is by saying the stud boy. It is mind-blowing. But here's the thing, Rich. I'm watching it. And knowing what I know now as an adult about what was going on in MTV during the day, knowing my innocence back then, not knowing what it was I was watching, dude, there were so many drugs being used. Holy balls. Dude, I'm watching it, and I will give him, I don't think the host Ken Ober, he never, but man, some of the people that were on the show and dude, I'm watching oh yeah, he's coked out. She is tripping balls right now.
Yeah, that was
But the
like
thing about
that was late 80s, right? 87,
late 80s,
89.
because Richard, I remember I owned the home version of MTV's remote control. The clicker was literally a clicker that just went click, 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 click. I went down that rabbit hole hard, Rich. And I'm telling you, man, I would have kicked ass on remote control. 30
Yeah,
years later, man, I'm answering questions like Bon
yeah,
Jovi.
it went from 87 to 90 actually. So
Yeah. But it really was such a good show. I'm genuinely surprised that one hasn't been redone yet.
yeah, maybe something to do with the copyright or something, you know.
Very possible. Very possible.
Because I don't even think that's even been re-released like as one of the streaming channels.
No, it hasn't. I looked.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be like Pluto TV. That should be one of those 24-hour channels on Pluto TV.
Oh my God, that would be. But they got to keep the commercials though, man. Because of the two servers that I've been watching it off of, I find myself favoring the one that's got the commercials. Dude, yeah. I'm watching like I had a pogo ball. I broke my shin using the pogo ball. But hey, real quick, speaking of shows that I don't want to say rebooted, but yeah, I guess reboot is the best one. One of my favorite shows, Richard, when it first came on was At Midnight, hosted by Chris. Help me out, Richard, the Nerdist.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You know which one I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Comedy Central At Midnight was one of the best shows I ever watched. It ran forever. It was just one of those ones where they just Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
Chris Hardwick. They were just like, we're done. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the show got canceled. They were done. I remember watching the last episode. Well, it's back now. And the current host is Taylor Tomlinson, who I was really happy when I found out she got tapped to host the show because she really is she's a great comedian.
Right.
I've watched her specials on Netflix. I remember I was watching because technically it's on CBS. So like when you're watching it on Paramount Plus, they will technically break for commercial, but it comes back. But if you were a fan of the show when it was originally on Comedy Central, go watch this one. We're only legitimately it's been on a week. So they didn't do it Monday. It started on a Tuesday. So we got like 4 or 5 episodes. I'm loving it just as much as I did when the show first came on. And I so far it's they've gotten some great. They just the last one I watched, they had Natasha Leggero and Moshe Kasher, who are 2 comedians who are fantastic, but they also happen to be married. That was a great. Oh my God. So yeah, I'm really excited about that one. I'm really digging After Midnight, which you can find on Paramount Plus or CBS if you still have the terrestrials TV.
Yeah, Paramount Plus is like they're like painting stuff out again. It's really funny. Remember how I always said it was really going to be cool? They always wanted to put everything in each network and stuff. Well, it hit the milestone. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Everybody's licensing out everything again.
Yeah, and it's just like you're finding out, well, if you have this service, you can also get this service bundled with it. And you can get this service through this service.
Yeah, I'm like getting Disney Plus with my Spectrum service now.
Yep, that's it is. They're all starting. Well, you know a lot more about this than I do. I don't want to say intermingling, but they're getting, things are buying each other up.
Yeah.
Like Disney and Hulu. That's one of the best examples right there.
Yeah, well, they already started owning that from the beginning. They
Right.
own a fourth of it, and then they've started buying everybody. So
And it's even got to the point, Richard, where like I have all my streaming services like auto pay, for the
right.
month, And the only problem is like sometimes like it doesn't say Hulu, it's like
Yeah.
Los Angeles, Nevada, or some, blah blah blah. Well, I got one and I'm looking at it, I'm like, why is that so high? And yes, some things went up, but I had to get on and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I get Max through that too.
Oh.
I forgot about, I bundled this with that, but this also came with that. But this has to be separate from this, but this is included.
Yeah, everybody's starting to do that. And then what I see now is like Pluto TV really set the standard now. Everything's becoming those live network,
Yeah.
like individual channels. Like, you got the Doctor Who channel, you got the Stargate
Yep.
channel, Star Trek channel, everything like that on Godzilla channel. But there's ads, but no one cares.
No one really cares anymore. And here's a great example. I was talking about After Midnight because I have Amazon. I get my Paramount Plus through Amazon, but I also have it as a separate, not paid separately, but a separate channel on my TV,
Right.
Because when I went to Amazon to go through Paramount Plus to watch After Midnight, they only show on Amazon, they were only showing it live.
Oh, okay.
But on Paramount Plus, the actual, because they had the previous,
Okay. Yeah.
It's so goddamn weird.
Well, what I thought was crazy now, Disney has basically got their own version of Pluto TV and stuff now. They took the ABC app and rebranded it, and it's their version of that. Amazon Prime has their version. They have the live channels.
Freebie and
Well, they're their own live streaming thing. That's
yeah.
set up just like Pluto. I mean,
Oh yeah.
you click on what's called live, and they have all their channels, and they have a Doctor Who channel that's not the same as the Pluto channel.
Yep.
It's funny because I was watching, I go, well, this ain't the same channel. It's different episodes and stuff. And that was interesting because, like, today they had the 5 Doctors on again on Pluto, but they had a older version of the Doctor Who streaming on Prime TV or Prime, whatever their live is. Prime Live,
That just reminded me something, Richard. I didn't realize we didn't get a chance to talk about this. We got the new Doctor.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. We're done with everything else. It's been so long. Honestly, people, first of all, thank you for listening to us ramble. This is what it's like when me and Richard haven't got a chance to sit down and talk for a while. It's like, what? My God, what are we going to do? I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah, we totally forgot about the Doctor.
Oh, man. Okay. So, first of all, episodes we got around and right before Christmas, bringing back David Tennant as David, or wibbly wobbly timey wimey. David Tennant came back as his Doctor. Oh my God, that was some of the best Doctor Who I've seen in years. Having him reunited with Donna and the way that was writing, that was brilliant writing. And I have to talk about Neil Patrick Harris, who I absolutely, I love Neil Patrick Harris. From Doogie Howser to How I Met Your Mother, Harold and Kumar, Dr. Horrible. It's phenomenal. And you can't convince me they didn't write the character. I mean, the Toy Maker was an old, like, we're talking black and white first first or second Doctor. I want to say first, because I'm almost positive that episode was in black and white. But you can't tell me that they didn't write the new Toy Maker with Neil Patrick Harris in mind.
Oh yeah, it's so flowed with it. With
Oh,
his
that
personality
was him 100%. And then come to find out, because I know I am a true Neil Patrick Harris fan. I know he loves magic. He loves sleight of hand. He is one of the members of the Magic Castle. Everything that he did on camera, he did on camera. And I saw this great behind the scenes thing where he was talking about the fact that he had to not only, what he was talking about, doing the German accent while juggling, while throwing balls at David Tennant, picking up more, it was like sleight of hand, because, he would throw a ball, but there would be another, all that while doing that accent was phenomenal. Everything you saw him do with the cards, that was him. Those weren't stunt hands. That was him. And when they brought back,
it was just like he was like this mad entity, that didn't know how to be like human. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not human, but
he was even the Doctor. Was a god. He was the best way was he was Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, that's probably. I was thinking the same thing.
That was the best way to describe it, because after I watched that episode, it's very rarely that I make a meme. But I made a meme, and I was so happy that the one Doctor Who site actually ran with it. It was a picture Mxyzptlk with Dr. Horrible equals the Toy Maker, and it was just brilliant. And I'm telling you, that scene in Unit with the Spice Girls "Spice Up Your Life" song will go down in history. They will be talking about that scene from that episode for decades to come. And it was great finding out that shortly after that episode aired, Richard, I think it was Spotify recorded that episode, that Spice Girls "Spice Up Your Life," like top the chart on downloads. But then we also got the introduction of the new Doctor, and I have too much respect for him. I made sure that I actually looked it up, because I want to be able Shute Gatwa, because you're old and Shute. And the reason why I remember this, Richard, is you're old enough. What was it? Not Cary Grant, but Jude. When I heard his name, it was like Shoot Day. It's like, that's how I remember it. Phenomenal. I loved him. I love the idea of the bi-generation.
Oh yeah.
Everything with Donna's daughter was very well written, very well handled, very well. Her mom, I adored everything. Even her. You know who I had to give props to on? Then he gets no love in that episode, Richard, was Donna's husband, because here he is surrounded by all this craziness, and he was still giving it too. Like when perfect example, when the Doctor was trying to resonate the bricks to go through the wall. Actually, you're doing the mortar. So that so nonchalantly and matter of fact, actually, you're doing the mortar. No, I love him. The new interior. Oh my God, the new interior of the car, and I loved that one little bit. It was because that was one of my new favorite characters, and God, I hope we see more of her. Forgive me, it's been a minute since I watched it. The wonderful actress that was in the wheelchair.
Oh, yeah, I know who. Now too.
I'm telling you right here and now, because especially that little side thing where Kate Stewart just casually leans over to Donna. You want a job? How much? 30 grand. 30 or, 30,000 quid a year. I mean, make it 60 deal. I rewound that and watched that. It was just like, didn't even blink. That's the spinoff I want. I want Unit. I want Donna. Our doctor's in that universe. I'm completely fine with that. I want Unit. I want Kate. I want Donna. I want Unit. I want them to do a spin-off of Unit like they did with Torchwood, but without the nudity, swearing, and murder.
I like Torchwood. What are you talking about?
I loved her. I really did. And no one prepared me for Torchwood. I did not know what I was getting into that first episode. I'm thinking, oh man, it's Captain Jack. It's going to be fun. I'm like, ooh, why are they? Ooh, she's naked. Like, he just dropped an F-bomb. Like, what the hell? I loved him. What I was saying is the wheelchair ramp on the TARDIS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bravo. Oh, no, I loved that. As a matter of fact, I am waiting for that toy to come out. I want the TARDIS that has the little... No, I need that toy.
I like how they made... He got the hammer and bam!
So good. It was so good.
So now a lot of that, I think, will have a tendency to be able to fix the child storyline and stuff. I think we're going to be able to find out that other ones have done the same thing. That none of this stuff that was originally canon is canon, but doesn't necessarily have to be canon. It could be these off to this and stuff. Because I was watching those episodes with the other Time Lord that he used to interact with, the female.
Master?
No, the female.
Oh.
Trini. No. Yeah, it's. But that watching that makes sense now. A lot of that way they were handling her as a Time Lord and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and even seeing some of the stuff like for the whole the in between doctor from the War Doctor.
Oh yeah.
I think all this is kind of making sense now for the first time.
Well, it's kind of, here's what it boiled down to is one of the great things about having Stephen Moffat come back was it's kind of like when you let your kid go off to summer camp and they come back just a wreck. You're like, okay, daddy's stepping in. I've got some work to do.
Yeah.
He's taken a lot of the things that Trimble did, and yeah, no, the master is back in the house.
But not that I don't think he's like erasing the past.
No,
he's just making it all a whole now,
No, that's what it is because he respects the property. I mean, he respects the property enough that he goes, it's going to be too insulting to just completely erase everything. I can't replace it. I'm going to repair it.
Yeah. And I just looked up the toy maker was from the first season.
Because I remember, yeah.
The first Doctor, it was 1966 episode.
And I like the fact, too, that David Tennant's Doctor comments. I mean, it's,
yeah.
He retells the history
of their first meeting and stuff, just
yes.
And I, like I said, I've been even watching like the 5 Doctors storyline. I've watched it now a couple. I didn't watch it I never watched it in order. I saw the ending before I saw the beginning. It was hilarious because on Pluto TV you just happen to tune in. It's like old school. You tune in. Oh, you're right in the middle. Who cares?
Yeah.
You just sat and I just had it on the background. But even that makes sense. Having them 5 together was very interesting because when they did their crossovers and they brought other companions back and stuff, it almost seemed like they never pulled them from a moment in time. It was almost like they happened in that time.
Yeah.
It was. I know they were like pulled from a different points in time, but they were all older. They never took in accordance of why they looked older or anything. They just ignored all that. They were just, they happened. It's like when the doctor, the third doctor, right? Yeah, was talking to the brigadier.
Yeah.
Because the brigadier was retiring, so he popped in for his retirement, and then the master, or not, wasn't the master, it was the president of the Gallery.
Rassilon.
Yeah, you got that one. I couldn't even remember that. You know,
Rassilon.
Pulled him out. You know, and it was supposed to pull him out of time, but they all looked the same as if they were progression of time, and they just didn't care. They just went with it.
One way they did that, they did that in the modern era, was it wasn't a complete episode, but the way they do Doctor Who is like they have the Christmas episode and then they go on break. They'll always do like, well, not always. They've done shorts in between.
Right, yeah.
And one of the best ones was it was right after when we watched the show, it was the episode where Martha leaves, and then at the end of that episode is when the Titanic crashes into the TARDIS, which when we watched it the first time, it was like, well, that didn't make any sense. Why would you blah blah blah? But in one of the greatest crossovers ever, Peter Davison, who was the fifth Doctor, because he came after Tom.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't remember my own birth date. But it was called Time Crash, is where Peter Davison's Doctor appears with David Tennant. And it was so brilliant because, of course, David Tennant knows who he's talking to. But it's that great thing where Peter Davison's Doctor, he even makes a joke. He goes, "Oh my God, I know who you are. You're one of those Linda freaks, aren't you?" Because Linda was the fan club.
Right, yeah.
You're one of those Linda lot, aren't you? But even David comments that, he's like, "Oh, you're great. Oh, look," and he pokes his, belly. He's like, "Oh, it must be temporal crossover, blah, 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 gibberish, wibbly wobbly." It was nice that they acknowledged that, But yeah, that was the reason why, because they were fiddling with something and they had to separate the TARDIS and blah, blah, blah. That's why the shields were down. But it was those great little in-between moments. But no, that was one of the best ones because, yeah, it's like, "Oh, look at you rocking a vegetable as as a fashion accessory."
But moving into this year's Christmas or last year's Christmas special was that just, I don't know. It's just, I just love where they're going to go with this, I think.
So do I. Here's what I really think, Richard. Again, it's not rumor. It's just the way I feel is when David and Shute's doctors separated, it was kind of like this was going to. I don't want to say all the trauma that the Doctor has been through since since Rose Tyler. That Doctor is going to be able to go off and work his shit out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to get to live the life, And it was kind of like, I don't want to say negativity, but Shute's is going to be fresh.
Yeah.
He's not burdened with all the negative energy,
But he still has all the memories of everything that's happened.
Yes, but his Doctor is the one that's been able to move on.
Right.
He is like post therapy.
This is sort of how I was envisioning when the 5 Doctors. It seemed like each one of them was almost shipped over and was still existing.
Yeah.
And so now we actually see that happen, and maybe this is how all the regenerations always kind of worked in a way.
It was like they were all existing wibbly wobbly timey wimey at the same time,
Yeah.
but they just could like physically could not cross over with each other,
Right.
unless
There was some kind of time
paradox.
Yeah.
Which even when the War Doctor David and Matt met, why they once we leave, we're going to forget all this happened.
Yeah. Because they were outside of the actual.
Yeah.
And then they was there. Yeah. Yeah.
Which absolutely love. It's Deus Ex Machina for doctors like, oh, we're going to make them forget. Okay, I don't care. It was still great. But you know what? I really feel like the new Doctor is going to be, and I got this impression from the first episode, which was phenomenal. I loved it. That was good. That was just good writing. That was pure goofy. I mean, adventurous Doctor.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling that we're going to see more fantasy and less science fiction. Because when the goblins, he said those are goblins. It wasn't like, oh no, those are aliens from Trepocepid 5 or something. No, they're goblins. Okay? And they have a ship in the... Okay.
And they just through time and stuff too,
Yeah. Oh, that was so great. He goes, they are not time travelers, they're gabblers.
Yeah.
Like, I love it when he could turn this. He still got the snark. Oh.
And I liked how he met his companion for the first time when he went for the glass.
Oh yeah, dude. The fact that the Doctor was rocking a kilt, I'm here for it. Nope. I am here. God, bruh. And the whole thing about Richard, you know how I have always made the joke because I have such weird luck. I have TV luck. It's like the Truman Show. It's just like director's like, knock that off the counter. Why? It'll be funny. Okay. Lump, that the goblins were like all about bad and coincidence, and like I find myself now because Doctor Who ruins everything in your life. He ruins statues and he ruins snowmen. It's like every time I'm doing something and something falls on the floor, I look for a goblin. Like that's the only explanation why that's on the floor now. That's the only logical explanation why that's on the floor now. But there were so many great moments even in that first episode, like when he was talking to that cop.
Oh.
He's like, she's going to say yes. What are you talking about? Well, you're working, blah, blah, blah. You got the hole in the pocket, the lump in your pocket, blah, blah, blah. She's going to say, that was pure Doctor Who right there.
Right.
Because not only was it lovely, it was Sherlock Holmes. He sized that cop up in a second with that brilliant brain of his, and she's going to say yes. Go take a vacation. Oh.
Yeah, I like how it fell on top of him, and he over assumption the lady with the stroller thinking
you gotta be out at midnight. It's my trolley. Oh, because that's the other thing I absolutely love is it shows that he's still fallible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He made a goofy mistake. Oh.
and that whole part where he was talking to the ropes or knew how the
yeah, that was brilliant too. That was another thing that led me, Richard, that why it's going to be like more fantasy and science fiction.
Yeah,
it's going to be like more Star Wars than Star Trek. But yeah, the way he goes, come on, man, that song was. What do the kids say, Richard? That song was fire. I'm not gonna lie. I downloaded. I love that song, man. And when was that we ever got an entire musical number in Doctor Who? And I absolutely loved it. And goddamn, those things are creepy.
And the companion, I just total over with, this is so cool, she's just...
I absolutely loved her, and we're gonna have to save this for the next episode, Richard, but at first I thought it was only rumor and speculation, but she's only getting one season.
I know, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's horrible knowing stuff like this now. This is where having too much information bums you out.
It's the reverse of when Doctor Who first came back, or the second time it came back. The Doctor left after one season. The companion stayed.
Yeah.
This time the companion's leaving, and we're going to keep the Doctor.
And even back then when it first started, I mean, the internet was predominant, but it wasn't like we were getting information like, oh, Billie Piper's only signed on for 3 seasons, so don't get too attached to her. No, we never heard stuff about like that. If I didn't know that the actress is leaving after the first season, I would have rather have not known and then been surprised.
Right. But hopefully, at least during that whole season, maybe we can figure out who Mrs. Flood is.
Oh my God, yeah. That went flipping bananas. And I'm like, and this is coming from a classic overthinker right here. Dude, let it go. Dude, people were analyzing like, oh, she was sitting in a green chair. Well, you know who sat in a green chair once back in 1950? Dude, let it go. Just no. The biggest speculation right now that before her, the thing that everybody was talking about, Richard, was after the toy maker is vanquished, that ring that he had on,
right?
Who picked it up?
Oh,
so it was. Well, we don't know. I at first I wanted to say it was obviously a female because she had fingernail polish on, but hey, could be anybody.
Well, that's where they were coming up with. Was it the other Time Lord, the female Time Lord?
Yeah, and some people think it was because she had the red nail polish on, or they had the red nail polish on. Was it Kate? But it couldn't have been Kate because we watched Kate go into the building.
Right.
But it didn't mean it was Kate from then.
Right.
Dude, the internet went completely bonkers, and I was just like, I'm really hoping, because especially I've been rewatching Doctor Who, Richard, all the way back Chris Eccleston.
Oh, yeah.
I've been going through to this day, Richard. I'm rewatching episodes, picking up stuff, that I didn't catch the first run around. I mean, one of the biggest great slow builds was back during David Tennant's era was Boat Saxon.
Oh.
That was one of the greatest slow builds in science fiction. I'm hoping that the whole thing with the ring is something that's going to play out like that. I don't need to know it 6 months from now. If it's a year from now, I'm completely fine with that.
Or it could be 3 years from now.
Hey, and by then we'll probably have gone through 4 companions. Because I really did like the chemistry the two of them had. My only fear with it was they had great chemistry. I was
Now, are you talking about the tooth and not the ring?
Oh God! I don't want to think about the teeth, man. No, I'm talking about.
I know you're talking the ring, but are you also going to talk about the tooth? That is what I'm trying to say.
Dude, the toy maker's teeth in that episode were creepier than any damn alien that we've seen.
But that's the master, right? That's the tooth, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, it was a tooth because
it was a tooth. Yeah, he was confusing me. I'm
yeah.
trying to figure out what you were talking about.
No, the reason why I had ring in my head was because it reminded me of the Master's ring from the David Tennant era, because that's how his wife was able. Well, they were able to bring the master back was because it was kind of like the pocket watch where it was his essence was in the ring.
Right.
That was my prediction that it was going to be very similar to that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Richard.
It's the tooth. I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing.
No. You are absolutely right. Yeah, it was the tooth.
But so basically, whoever has a tooth has the master, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. But nobody, up until then, nobody but the doctor knew that at the moment.
Right.
Well, maybe Donna, she was probably still within earshot because it was when they were playing cards. But she doesn't know the master, you know. Because remember, during all that stuff with the master, she was asleep or something.
Yeah, it was. It's you just never know. And I like to see more companions, like they brought back companions. You know,
Yeah,
that was a good element to that little run there. You know, and I would like to see that, like you said, even more or spin-offs or other stuff. And then there's all this 60th anniversary stuff that we haven't even seen in America yet. That's already been out there.
there's a lot. Yeah,
I mean,
stuff
officially saw in America.
Again, let's just say the goblins weren't the only one on a pirate day type ship.
You know, I thought that was really cool that they did all that for the 60th anniversary. You know, I just thought that was.
I did too.
Yeah. And then, like I said, now the new season comes out, what, May-ish?
May. I noticed the fact because that's my birthday present. That is going to be, I'm good. What do you want for your birthday? I'm already getting it to new Doctor Who.
Yeah, I don't know why this new companion almost tops the one I used to like. Which I don't mention because, you know.
No. Here's the thing, Richard, because I'm rewatching everything. And actually, Richard, I just got to the episode where we are gone and we're meeting Clara, modern day Clara,
Right,
for the first time. He just made the connection that the steward, or not the stewardess, Jesus, governess and souffle girl were the same person. I'm not at that point yet in the series, Richard, where the writers kind of have Clara take over. So I'm still very fond of her. Now, let me run this by Richard. Here's what I would have loved to have seen. So far in the modern run, we have all of our companions have been modern to our period.
Right.
Clara from the governess period, I want to see something like that. I want to see somebody not from our. I want to see somebody that has no idea what the hell this is.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, way back in the One Doctor when, what's her name?
Not Tila, Tila, the Savage. He always called her Savage.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I remember her. I remember because that was about the same. That was during the Tom Baker period when it was available to us on PBS.
Right.
Because I remember because I think Robot was one of my first episodes. But I remember her because I was just like, I'm like 7 or 8 years old, and all I remember was I like her. But no, yeah, I want to see something like that.
Yeah, but I still this whole interpretation that Ruby Sunday is just to me is just going to be fun. You know what I'm saying? Because
same here.
Because she already has sort of maybe some kind of luck powers,
But I do like how they're building up that we don't know who her mother is.
Right.
Or we don't know who her mother is, and we don't know. It could be two separate people. We don't know who her mother is, and we don't know who it was that dropped her off.
Right.
We're not even 100% sure that not only was it her mother that dropped her off, that person in the cloak was a woman.
Yeah.
It could be anybody.
Yeah, it could have been any. Yeah. So that's what I love how they left it all open. So it goes right into the series, and How many episodes are we going to get? Did they say the run yet?
If they have, I don't know it yet.
Okay.
Or I probably saw it and I forgot, but I can honestly say I don't know right now.
But in my mind, she's almost top Clara in my book. And you know
she's-
how I love Clara as the companion. You know,
Yeah.
I know we bumped heads on that one, but
Here's my thing. It was not Jenna Coleman I had a problem with. Again, Richard, I
Right.
say this is in old age and looking back. Again, the same thing with Kristen Crook from Smallville. I am separate. It wasn't her. It wasn't their fault. Bad writing was bad writing, and I'm not saying they wrote Clara badly. I'm saying I think they tried to direct the show toward the young pretty girl. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. But I will say that she kind of took over Matt's run, but I honestly I loved her with Capaldi.
Oh.
I really did. I loved her with Capaldi. Then again, I loved Capaldi. I will fight on that hill of Capaldi's run. I loved that run.
Uh-oh. I know this is a total side note, but I just clicked on something because I was going to mention it because, Steel City Con in Pittsburgh, that huge mega convention with the stars and comic books and everything. They booked Heather Graham.
Ooh.
But you know who else is going to be there? Molly Ringwald.
Shut the front door. Oh my God.
I didn't even know she was there. I just clicked on. John Carpenter's going to be there, and all these other. And Ernie Hudson's going to be there. Juliette Lewis. It's like, and Shannon Dolce. Like they've got all the 90210 people there, And it's like, what the hell's Molly Ringwald? Oh my! Viewers.
Oh no! Come on!
Just blown because I've always wanted to meet Molly Ringwald.
Oh, everybody! Come on, Richard. Everybody of our generation, one of their very first crushes was Molly Ringwald. Dude, I went through high school being called Ducky.
But I always remember I've always wanted to meet Heather Graham. That would be the one that I'd love to get an autograph.
Oh,
because I was debating to go to IndieCon. Because they have like the one that we went to in Fort Wayne, but the Indianapolis version. Yeah, PopCon. Yeah, because they're having both the 60-Minute Man and Lindsay Wagner, Bionic Woman's going to be there. Lee Majors and Lindsay. I've already met Lindsay Wagner, but I actually found. Remember I told you I was buying a bunch of DVDs.
Oh my God, man!
That was closed out. I got that half price.
Dude, the second I saw that, the only thing I can think about is
it has American the Bionic Showdown with Sandra Bullock.
Oh my God!
Do you remember that from '89 when Sandra Bullock was the new Bionic Woman? But no, my mind's just been blown because I've been on this real, like I've been telling you, I've been doing all this nostalgic watching of videos, because I don't know, it's this time period when there's not much new out there,
Yeah, and I'm finding myself, Richard, especially when there's not as much. We're in that period right now, Richard, where it's like reminiscent of the old network days where we got all the new episodes and then summer break came for reruns. The writer's strike kind of forced that mentality again, where it's just like, well, we're not going to get anything new until this is over. Yeah. I mean, one of the perfect example, Richard, especially like Pluto TV, one of the things I went down the rabbit hole on was Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, wow. Which
is, at the end of this episode, you're going to hear that this is where I got my press the button, Frank,
Well, that's just like, like I said, all these live streamers, and what's really neat about these live streamers is you don't necessarily have to watch them in that order. A lot of them has them all on demand. So you can literally go to the on demand, like Hogan's Heroes. You can click on demand on Prime Video, and they have the unaired pilot of Hogan's Hero on Amazon Prime.
Holy smokes.
And to watch it is just amazing because you can see some characters before they were really the characters they became. Because let's see, and it was in black and white, and the whole theme wasn't even quite there yet. The whole opening wasn't even designed. It has a different opening and everything, but to see all that being created before the actual series came out, because that's how pilots really work, and a lot of times we don't see those, but it's really neat now is they're releasing the original pilots with stuff that you probably never seen, and it probably was some kind of content on the DVD release, because I never bought the DVD release, because I never bought TV series usually on DVD. I mean, yeah, I did buy Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but that's beside the point. And Babylon 5 and stuff like that,
I was to say Smallville. I was going after Supernatural, but I kind of broke away from that too, because it's like I'm going to get all the Arrow and then Supergirl and Flash, and then after like the second season, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, it was just really expensive because those sets were hundreds of dollars back in the day.
Yeah. And now, hell, Richard, I can't tell you how many times I've seen the complete run of Sequest for $20.
Well, it's just like that $60 Million Man. When I saw that and it had a copy of the Bionic Showdown, it's like to buy an import version of the Bionic Showdown because they never released it by itself on DVD or anything. That's the only way I saw American release of was through that, and it would have cost me basically the same cost to get that as it would to buy a non-region free DVD player just to be able to play the
just to watch. Yeah,
which I should still buy, but
yeah. Rich, I know what I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
And we'll get ready to wrap this up. See, here we were, Richard. We were afraid we weren't going to have anything to talk about, and we lived up to the name of the goddamn show. The thing I'm very excited about, they just, as of us taping, for those children at home watching, taping refers to a period of time. Now, Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix just dropped the full-on first trailer.
Right.
And Richard, I'm here to tell you, I am here for it.
Uh-oh, you're subscribing back to Netflix.
I am, but it will be not until February, not a minute before. But I'm telling you, Richard, it legitimately, here's what I really believe, Richard. I know that, especially after Witcher, I'm hoping Netflix learned their lesson that, okay, if we're going to do something from a property that is very cherished, let's not screw it up. Stick to the material. And it looks like they learned. Oh my God, that trailer looked amazing.
Yeah, I know. I snagged one of the images that they released and posted on UVN. I had people ask me, what version is this? And I go, it's the Netflix version,
They got the cast right. Oh my God. And they've already, God, again, and bless the internet, they have done a side-by-side of scenes from the trailer matched up with the original cartoon. Chef's kiss. It's, oh my God. And I mean, I was already on board, but the one thing that really got me during the trailer is when they just showed it, quick, King Boomy. So that old man high kicking that hunk of rock. I am ridiculously excited for Avatar: The Last Airbender, to the point that yes, I will resubscribe to Netflix. But this is what I want to ask you, Richard. Man, I'm hearing talk that they're changing the way they do their service again, that they're taking a nod from other services, we're gonna charge you more for this, but we're gonna have the
ad support. Yeah, everybody's got ad supported now.
Yeah,
I think they actually can make more money by doing that because they get money from the ads, and you don't have to charge the customer as much to get the subscription. And
And I'm the thing about it is maybe it's because our generation, Richard. At first, I was so like when all the streaming stuff was, I'm like, yeah, no commercials, F you commercials. And then I've said it before, and I'll say it again: the CW app did not help, showing the same exact commercial, not over again and over again between show. No, repeating the same ad
right,
back to back.
yeah,
No.
yeah, they actually literally showed it like 3 times in a row.
Oh, there was one time, Richard, I swear, while watching The Flash, I thought the service went down. Because it was like after the third time, I'm like, maybe it's on a loop. But
I still have Spectrum cable, and I have like live over the air TV. That happened on one of the stations out of Columbus. Their ad just kept playing over and over, or it must have got stuck in one of those loops. Because it's all digital insertion now. You know, you don't have a guy like me sitting behind listening for the oh.
This is what happens when I don't work there anymore.
Yeah, it was funny because I've actually worked one of those boards where you did commercial inserts by the tone. You listened for the tone, and when they came up, you played the commercial.
God, we are so old. But no, I'm not. There was a couple, like I would go to a couple friends' houses that had, I think it was especially the like Paramount Plus. I don't hate it. During TV shows is not so bad. During a movie is a little much.
Yeah.
If I'm watching a TV series, you know, I don't mind so much. During a movie is a little.
Yeah, well, I used to watch movies late night, so it's the same thing as watching.
Same here, yeah.
You always had the ABC Sunday Sunday, and then in Monday where they split the movie into like when they first showed Superman. You know, they split it on Sunday, then they showed it on Monday and stuff like that.
Yep.
Because that's how ABC used to do all that back in the day.
Yep. So no, I'm not heartbroken by having ads again because hell, we grew up with them, you know. Like Amazon, they're good about it. It's like they're sneaky about it. It's like they don't show like through mine. They don't show commercials, but they show advertisements for their stuff. You know, like their movies or their TV shows. I'm fine with that because I loved the first season of Reacher. Completely forgot about it. I was watching something and they had a commercial for Reacher season 2, and I'm like, oh shit, that's out. It was helpful.
Yeah, it does help you a little bit what's coming out and stuff, you know, because they do show things ahead of schedule and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which, that was another thing I binged when it came out. Man, Reacher season 2 that was good stuff. That was good action. Well, I think it's about time to wrap this up. Yeah, if you haven't got a chance to, I recommend After Midnight. That it's still finding its footing. It's funny because you could definitely tell. What was it? I just watched an episode here. It was just last night, so it would have been the night before his episode, where they're trying out new games, and you could see where one of the contestants, you know, they're all comedians, so they're bullshitting with each other. She realized the flaw in the game. It was kind of like charades, Richard, where two contestants had their back to the large screen, and the other contestant watched it. It was like an internet clip, you know, to kind of like charades to get them to say like what they titled that clip, like man falls off roof. Well, you can't say man, can't say falls, can't say roof. For every word they get correct, you get 100 points. Well, the one woman figured out, she's like, well, wait a minute. What the hell do I want to give him points for? And she like walked away. I mean, it was all in good fun, but you could tell that even the host, you can't see the people who write the show, but you could feel it going, oh, we're never doing this game again. She found the flaw. So yeah, I recommend that one. I really enjoyed that show. Rich, anything?
Nah, just like I said, I've been trying to catch up. They're going to have, see, a lot of the new season is starting to roll out though, because Night
Yeah.
Court came out, 911's come out, some of that stuff's
Oh,
coming out, you know.
dude, Night Court, and I think there's one other one. Man, I am not getting another streaming service, but damn, I want to watch Night Court.
Yeah, Night Court's on just normal NBC, so if you really have a digital antenna, you can actually watch it. I
'Cause
know.
I like her.
Uh,
Well, I like her, and I like the entire idea of the show. Just
Did
that she's taking over for her dad, who's passed. I
Right.
do.
They bought what's his they're gonna bring the one that the actor that plays Raj from The Big Bang Theory. He's coming on in an episode where he's playing some kind of designer, and and he actually falls in love with her or something. You know, it's kind of, or they're gonna have some kind of attention or something. You know.
Yeah, I'll probably end up getting that when it comes out on DVD. Right, man. Well, I would say look for us here, but we're in that slow season. There's really no. Rich, are there any shows that you plan on?
uh,
We're in that slow period right now.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for some of the movies to start coming out. I do want to hurry up and try to catch Godzilla maybe tomorrow in black and white, the new movie.
Ooh,
Black and white this weekend, so it's really good. So it's one of them things, and just to see it in black and white again, because I like black and white movies, because I've seen some adaptations that's been re-released in black and white.
Dude, if you ever get the chance, Stephen King's The Mist.
Yeah.
Watch that in black and white.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So, on behalf of myself, Mike Boroff, and my good friend Richard Catterjohn, thank you for listening and or watching. If you want to make a comment on anything that we talked about, which good luck. I hope you took notes because I don't even remember what all we talked about. Let us know your thoughts, your opinions, especially maybe on the new season of Doctor Who. I know we've got some fans of the show out there. Let us know what you thought. It's been a while since we heard from you. Richard, where could they do that at?
The easiest place is just go to UVN.plus. That's UVN.plus. That's the place where you can find everything. It's our website. There's a video archive of every single episode we've ever done in there. Well, there's one episode missing, but that's okay. Everything's there. And you can find links to all our socials. You can find us on Facebook, Insta. I don't update that X one, Twitter or whatever. But other than that, you can find us, and we still have MySpace. So
thank you everybody for listening and or watching. We hope to see you at a con or a comic book store real soon. So Richard, if you would kindly, it's been too long, press the button.